This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Alcohol does damage the brain, but I don't know if it went that far with them already. I don't know. I drink a lot. I'd like to think that I'm not like that.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
Sometimes there's a very small window that if something doesn't happen and there isn't action made in that short period of time, that it might not happen, maybe not ever again.
It is the 5th of January, 2023. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marney Winfield.
And just to clarify, we are not brother and sister. We are husband and wife. So if you listen to episodes and we're talking about, like, sex stuff.
That's what's up, you know what I'm saying?
It's because husband and wife. Because it'd be awkward if somebody was out there going, whoa, I thought they were brother and sister, and it was just weird this whole time. There you go. A little explanation. You know, I try to help out, you know, where I can and when I can and make the world just a better place all around, you know. Oh, no need for applause on that. I'm just doing what I can. God sent me here to do. Speaking of that, well, actually not speaking of that, but the open. Speaking of the open, I was talking about this guy, and we're all at different levels, you know, just in general. Some people smarter than others, you know, and then some people, I mean, you know what I'm saying when I say that, right? Okay. That dude went to stir Kool-Aid with a little spoon. Just a little regular spoon, teaspoon. Just saying, just picture that. I mean, maybe you were already. So his arm was in it to this elbow. And he was making it for a house of guys who were not happy with walking down and seeing his whole arm in the Kool-Aid. And so they said something to him like, what are you doing, man? He's like, I'm stirring the Kool-Aid. Like, he did not see a problem with that.
If he was making it just for himself and that's how he, you know, does this
If you want arm hair in your Kool-Aid, sure.
Right.
But I don't know. But it was just like one of those things. It was like, maybe he just didn't know. Oh, that sounded like a rip and tear on a couch or a chair.
That was a cat.
It's just pleather. It's like a couple $100. It doesn't matter, right? Just money.
No, I feel bad because our cat is very traumatized because of the new kitten. And so I was trying to let her come in and be a part of this.
Lunatic.
And
the cat's name is Lunatic.
Her name is Luna.
Yeah.
And she's just like, so I'm trying to give her a little special, you know, privilege. And she's doing the best she can.
And you heard her on the podcast, I think a week or two ago. If you listen in the podcast background, like when we have the cat, we don't let him in the studio anymore.
Right.
And you hear her out there, meow, like as we're talking about addiction.
She sticks her arm like all the way full reach underneath the door. Like her shoulder, little cat shoulder needs to be like all the way against the door as she's reaching her entire cat arm through underneath the door and up around. Like she thinks that's going to, you know, get her in. Anyway, but here she is.
Yeah. Recovery's fun.
Yeah, recovery's fun.
You know, I'd much rather have this situation than situations I had in my past. I'll tell you that.
Did the guy pull up his sleeve, like his arm sleeve?
Yeah,
while
he was wearing
doing?
a t-shirt. But I don't know. That would be a good experiment.
Yeah,
like if he was wearing a long sleeve shirt.
I don't want to get Kool-Aid on my t-shirt, so I'm gonna roll it up as I stick my entire arm in this community drink that you're gonna put into your mouths.
But that's what I just was like. I don't know. Did alcohol like wreck his brain that bad, or was he just?
I think sometimes
skilled at other things.
Sometimes I think people are just their priorities and how they look at the importance of, I don't know, sanitary stuff. And
I don't know, man. That's
what's the big deal? I'm just stirring it. It's not a big deal. You know.
And you live in sober living, you realize too, you know, like, oh, you know, some people are good at fixing cars. Some people are good at making Kool-Aid. Some people aren't good at that. But we're all at different places, you know, and I guess just as my stepmom say, we're all special in a way or something, or everybody's a diamond or shines or
I think that's true.
She does something like that. You kind of get the point of that too. Is like, oh, everybody has their special little thing, and I'm sure he's special somewhere. Mm-hmm. But it just made me think, like, man, because I started thinking, like, do I not realize it? Because like I said, I drink a lot, and how many of my brain cells are gone? You know, like how smart did I used to be? Mm-hmm. Am I even halfway intelligent now, or is it just my brain telling me, oh no, dude, you know what's going on? Sorry, I have to snap my fingers at the kitty. She's not paying attention to the snaps.
Well, I'll let her out here.
Should we pause?
You can pause.
All right, you don't have to pause because you're not even going to know we just did it.
Right, you just keep listening.
Play by play. Marnie hits the microphone with that sexy booty. She grabs the kitty. She tells the kitty that she loves the kitty. And opens the door and throws him down the hall. There we go. And we are back talking about recovery.
All right.
Didn't miss a beat. I just did play by play.
Nice.
So, I don't know. That just made me wonder, and I was just hearing that. I don't think we play that open. We don't play that one very often, and I just hearing that, and it brought me back to that guy and thinking about him and the situation. And some stuff was said today on the Families Against Narcotics and Grand Traverse board. Mm-hmm. So we had our board meeting tonight, and I kind of talked about how I don't say I'm an alcoholic when I go to meetings. We've made this clear on this podcast because I like to think of myself in a positive light. Alcoholic to me is not a positive light. I'm moving forward with my life. You know, and you will say, oh, no, I am an alcoholic because I can't drink anymore, and I get that. And that's cool, you know, however you need to do it. But for me, I just feel more comfortable when I roll out of bed and go, I'm in recovery. Mm-hmm. Some people need to know, like, hey, you're an alcoholic. You cannot have one drink. And that works for some people.
I think, too, is that I don't judge people when they actually identify as that, if they introduce themselves as that, because I think we've thought about it a lot, and the importance of the fact that we're in recovery is very much so in how we present ourselves, you know, to the world, right? And so that's why I think it touches us, and it's so meaningful that we say I'm a person in recovery, opposed to I'm Marnie and I'm an alcoholic, which, like I said, circling back, it's 100% true, is I am an alcoholic, right? So, but I choose not to present myself verbally like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't judge people that do, like, don't say that, you know, it is what it is, right? We only have control over our own selves. Mm-hmm. And it's not like we're out there telling the world, you know, but there is a piece of messaging that might change, you know, because if you look at somebody said, you know, if you look at as person-centered, right? I'm a person in recovery. I'm a person with substance use disorder, not I am an alcoholic or I am this, I am that, you know?
Yeah, and I think one of the ladies there, she kind of said that. She's like, I'm not buying into that. I'm a person with substance use disorder. I'm a damn alcoholic. You know, she's like, Corey, you can relate to that. I'm like, well, but yeah, you know, I can, because I'm not walking around going, hi, I have a substance use disorder. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not doing that either. And I get the wording of that stuff different. And, oh, I'm not an alcoholic. I just have, what do they call it? Alcohol substance, or I don't know. So there's another alcohol thing that they call it instead of alcoholic.
Well, do you think
alcohol disorder or something like that? And it's like, well,
do you think it's because that you think that you're trying to get away from the severity of your problem? Do you think that's what people think? I'm trying to make conversation, because I mean I'm completely on the same page as you, but I'm thinking, putting myself in their shoes. Are they like, why does he have a problem admitting the fact that he's an alcoholic?
Because I'm not a piece of shit who beats my wife. I'm just not, you know. And but that's what I was, you know, growing up and watching movies and, you know, just society. You know, alcoholics are not good people.
But you can't get stuck on the word. Just, you know.
I don't. I just move on to a different word.
Right.
And I'm sure, you know, maybe recovery is a bad word for some people. Oh, Aunt Carol was in recovery and she ran over our dog when she was drunk. You know, recovery people suck. You know, like maybe there's some people that have that, as their alcoholic word. I don't know, but I'm just saying for me, it was like that. And then it was brought up that, oh, relapse is part of recovery, which I don't like saying that. I don't like hearing that. And I just immediately opened my mouth without thinking. I did not do a good job of acting. I totally reacted tonight and said, no, relapse is part of addiction. Because it is. Like, me going to treatment 100 million times or whatever, when I was told that relapse is part of recovery, I know that was an out for me. I knew if I drank, it's just part of recovery, man. Now, would that have been different if it was told to me addictions or relapse is part of addiction? Probably, I don't know. Probably wouldn't have mattered. I probably would drink anyway. Yep, I'm still addicted. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I do remember thinking like, well, it can't be too mad at me because, it's part of the process. It's part of recovery. Mm-hmm. And it's not part of recovery. It's part of addiction.
Well, I think like anything, if you have strong feelings about something, then all you can do is you practice it how you want to practice it, and say it how you want to say it. Mm-hmm. And then you can share the reason behind you say it, why you say it. But, world is what it is. And if people want to continue with what they know, then, and maybe they'll listen and be like, yeah, because you get a lot of that. I know that you've presented the reason why you say I'm a person in recovery opposed to I'm an alcoholic or I'm an addict. And maybe that resonates with people. And some people are just like, they choose to just stick with I'm an alcoholic or I'm an addict, and that's fine.
Whatever works for them.
Whatever works for them. But you have all the say in the world and all the right in the world to use that verbiage, just like they have all the right in the world to use whatever they choose to use. Okay. And the reason why they feel like that resonates with them for their own reasons. And a lot of it probably has to do with that there's been our culture, and especially, and I'm not trying to say anything bad against 12-step programs, but a lot of the there's phrases and words that have been, used over and over. And that's the word that they use a lot. Mm-hmm. And an introduction that they use a lot with respect, and it's not looked at as a negative thing. Right.
But back then when they started using it wasn't in movies and on TV like it became, and I think when they said it was a huge step forward to admitting that, yes, I have a problem.
It is. That's very true. And that is looking at that in a positive light, because they were acknowledging that this is a disease and not just like, he likes the bottle, or whatever. He likes the bottle.
Yeah.
Or she likes the bottle.
Or they like the bottle, or it likes the bottle.
Or they're boozers, whatever,
Yeah, so that was kind of my night in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. How was your day in recovery?
It was really busy. I was, just like some days I was planning on it not being so pressured, and, stuff comes up and you deal with it. And that's good. I don't mind. And then I was going to get into the big thing that's on my plate. But so my school semester's starting on Monday.
How are you going to juggle that? Full-time job, full-time college student, husband.
Same way I did before. I have no idea. I just do it. I'm like, I try to go into like autopilot. Like, let me try to wake me up when it's August, and then I'll see how I did it. I'll tell you how I did it.
So you got your schedule?
I do. Yeah.
We're going to be missing you on the podcast from time. I'm sure we will.
I have Monday and Tuesday night classes, and then I have Wednesday night and Thursday night in my internship.
So we can count on Saturdays.
Saturdays, I will take a break from whatever paper I'm writing and do a podcast. Yes.
See, you could always be in the other room, which I guess it really wouldn't make too much sense, because it's not like you'd be doing work. You'd be sitting there with the little microphone, so we could patch you in.
No. I mean, like,
or you can come here and get on the nice mic, but
I mean, if you actually look at the downtime that I actually have where I'm not accounted for physically in other places, yeah, I literally don't have very many hours. I mean, sleep time is pretty much it, for like the week, And then I need to try to do some self-care with, and people think self-care needs to be like, I don't know, getting a massage or, getting your nails done, which I love doing stuff like that. But it's also doing nothing, watching crime shows and baking muffins. And
you won't have fantasy football anymore.
I won't have fantasy football.
Which Justin won our league.
He did. Congratulations.
So big shout out to Justin. And then Adam, my friend Adam S. Took second place. Got his ass kicked in the final. But his team just fell apart with injuries at the end. It was just like, if you see like one of those movies and the spaceship is like going into space and it's just ripping apart. It was like Adam's fantasy team. And then it's controversial, but I'm gonna have to make a decision because the Buffalo game's not played or whatever. So
they're not gonna.
It's not looking like it. So my suggestion was to take bench players. You had bench players, and then just insert them in and do the points. And then we use Yahoo, which probably the last year we do that. And so I reached out to them and said, hey, you locked the stuff. You're like, hey, league's over. And I'm like, hello. I need to go in there and edit the lineup, to make the changes. And they just write me back and they're like, oh, our hearts are out to the Buffalo guy and the family. And I'm like, yeah, okay, mine are too. But does that mean I can just, if someone calls me today, I was like, hey, I need to do something. I'm like, oh, I can't do that because my heart's with the guy in Buffalo. Okay, Yahoo, we get it. But let's move on. They're going to play a game on Sunday. Or are they not? Are they going to be like, no, our hearts are still with our Buffalo player guy. We're not playing games anymore. I mean, they played a game, 2 days after Kennedy was shot? JFK. 2 days later, get us go Sunday football. I'm just saying that. Of course, that was different people and some way different people. But that's just the NFL in general. And the owners run that, league really. So I don't know. Anyway. Just let me fix the damn lineup, Yahoo, is what I'm saying. Don't send me some stupid automated email.
Right.
Just answer my damn question and let me fix it.
They won't. You can figure it out on your own.
Well, yeah, you can figure it out on your own, but for your records.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You got to have
Good point.
Mm-hmm. And then the person you're playing, I don't know if April, I don't know if she had anybody even playing anymore. So I would do the same for her too. If she had people in that game, I would pick whoever. If she had a wide receiver, I would take whatever wide receiver she had on her bench with the highest points. And that's, I think, the fair thing to do. And
sure,
because she's like, your guy couldn't even play. That sucks. That's,
right.
And you had you had your tight end, your wide receiver, and your quarterback.
Yeah,
a lot of Buffalo players there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know everybody was wondering what's up with the fantasy football league, Corey.
We're gonna do a family league next year too. So
yeah, that'll be fun.
I'll be in 2 leagues.
And I win the leagues with no money involved. That's what I do.
That might be just how God wants it.
I guess. I mean, I'm good at that league. Whatever. I barely made the playoffs. I won yeah, anyway, people don't want to hear about the fantasy stuff. So
yeah.
This isn't fantasy.
Anyway, we're wrapped up. And our hearts are with the player that, the Buffalo player, for sure. It is totally crazy. I mean, they had those newscasters had no words.
Yeah.
And then it was just the people that did start, what are we supposed to talk? Are we supposed to talk football? What? And they're looking at each other we don't know what to say. And then they kind of just kept repeating themselves because they thought it would be insensitive to actually have a conversation about anything having to do with how the game had gone for the whole, 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think they played longer than that. But yeah, I heard Troy Aikman talking about that on the ticket today. And him and Joe Buck, they're pretty good broadcasters. Joe Buck's hilarious. I love him. He's a great broadcaster. So he said, we didn't really know what to do. And he said that he had a shot on his monitor of them and how frantically and violently they were working on him. He's like, it's a shot that it wasn't going out over TV. He's like, but I still had it on my monitor. And it freaked him and Joe out. And they're just like, what? I got nothing, like send it away. Like there's nothing we can talk about. And that's when they decided to go back to the studio. And he was saying that the guy who took over as like the head guy at Disney just got the job like 3 months ago. He used to be there, I think, before, but then he took back over. But he was like in New Zealand. And he was kind of directing, because they're owned by Disney. He was directing them what to do. Like, hey, no, don't just stay there on the field. Like, just cut back, go to the studio, and like talk about this, get this on. And so that was kind of interesting to hear him talk about that. And he's just like, yeah, like you don't plan for one of those things. And Troy Aikman said he didn't even realize, but someone had actually died on the field before, way back in the day, and it was the Chicago Bears and Detroit Lions, and it was the Lions wide receiver that actually died. And some say he died on the field. Some say he died on the way off the field, getting carried away in the stretcher or whatever. But they just finished up the game real quick. It was like 60 seconds left. And they're like, let's just wrap this up.
Well, and the thing is even if people remember that or not, is the people that were reporting on that, none of them had experienced any of that in any of their lifetimes. Right. So they couldn't, they were all kind of looking at each other like, this has never happened before. Right.
Yeah. And he said that, football players, like they prepare themselves like, hey, even from little league, on, like I can get hurt. It hurts bad. You break your leg, whatever, pull something, like it hurts. So you like prepare yourself mentally like, okay, I can get hurt today. But you don't prepare yourself like, hey, I'm going to go out there and I could die today.
Right.
He's like NASCAR drivers. He's like, they prepare for that.
Oh, yeah.
When they get in the cars, they're like, I could die today.
Yep.
But he's like, football player, we don't think we're going to die today going out there and playing football. And so he said that was kind of a shocking thing that he thinks all the players on the field that just like threw them for a loop because they're like, what? And they don't know what happened, at that moment. They just see this guy out there and he said how, violently and they were just like trying to revive him and just like, he said it was a moment, that all them players are not going to forget. And, he couldn't believe that the NFL was like, all right, guys, you got 5 minutes to get out there and warm up. And of course there's some controversy about that because the NFL's like, oh, we never said that. And then Joe Buck's like, yeah, you did. Because that's what you told us, we're going to give them, they're going to be out here in 5 minutes to warm up. So they're like, nah, we can't believe that the NFL even did that, and
I wonder if you looked at the list of like the top job careers that have the highest risk of death, like firefighters and I don't know. There's probably some weird ones like Arctic fishermen or something, coal miners. I have no idea what they are, but
let me look it
I'm
up.
sure an NFL football player is not on that list anywhere, and even being a
probably not.
Probably not.
Jobs with highest death rate.
Yeah, so like I don't know, oil people, like maybe electrician. I don't know. I'd be curious. No, roofers maybe. Like people that work on like. I wonder if window washers is up there.
You'd think. Now, number one is this top 10 list. Let's go number 10 first.
Okay.
Grounds maintenance workers.
So you mean like people who care for like
lawns or something?
grounds? I'm trying to think. I mean, I know what it is.
Oh, well, then the 17.4 fatality rate. 217 total fatalities. I hate seeing that, but I kind of like that. Number 9, first line supervisors of construction trades and extraction workers.
Okay.
That's 18 fatality rate. 134 total. 8, they're going to just put everybody in this category. Farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural managers.
All right.
23.1. 260 total. This one, I thought it'd be a little higher. This one's delivery truck drivers and driver/sales workers. Because they're on the road all the time.
On the road all the time,
It's kind of dangerous. 24.7%. Ooh, number 6. Structural iron and steel workers.
Yeah. Builders that make huge buildings when they're up there. I always think about that. I could never, ever do that job.
25.1 fatality rate. Mm-hmm. Yet only 16 total died in that year. Whoa, this one's... Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Trash man.
Okay.
They called it something else, but 34.1. And again, they're out there on the road. They're jumping out of the truck. People aren't paying attention.
People are careless. Yeah.
Number 4, you've already mentioned.
Roofers.
48.6 fatality rate. So if you're out there roofing, like, get some in case shit.
Get some life insurance.
Yes. Number 3, okay. Maybe because of all the little ones. Talking about planes, aircraft pilots and flight engineers.
Okay.
So pilots and co-pilots.
Yeah, because of small planes.
55 fatality rate. 75 total deaths. Number 2, you've already said as well. Mm-hmm. I never would have thought of this one. Fishers and related fishing workers. 86% fatality rate. 24 people died. And number 1, we did not say, but I could see this. Logging workers.
Yeah.
Dropping them suckers on your head. Not good.
Yep.
Their rate is 135.9%.
Wow.
Does that mean you're guaranteed to die? Because 100% means like that's okay. That's
the logging industry, huh?
Yeah. 91 total fatalities. So I guess that doesn't mean you're gonna guaranteed to die, but you definitely need to get paid a lot more. I didn't see on here TikToker or YouTube star.
Right.
Oh, they have the salaries on here, but I'm not going to go through those.
Anyway, NFL players not on that list for sure.
Nope, they sure were not. And that list was from 2016, apparently. Or maybe it was from 2017. I don't know.
Okay.
Just leave her by guessing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's fantasy football talk. That's how we do it. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Like this is how we do our recovery. We do the podcast and it helps us. So
yeah,
that's what matters. But appreciate you listening.
Appreciate you listening, everybody.
And we have resources and different things on our website if you want to check it out. We actually have a page called Fun. It's 217recovery.com/fun. It's a hidden page. But if you go there, there's some fun stuff there. So enjoy. And we'll talk to you on Saturday.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.